Hi there, this is Dr. Ann-Louise Lockhart from A New Day Pediatric Psychology. So what shall we talk about today? Let's talk about depression. So depression comes in many different forms and many different reasons why it occurs. So it can be a result of a chemical depression, it could be hormonal, it could be a situational, it could also be postpartum. And it could be just kind of a variety of adjustment related different types of things. Now there's different ways to look at to see whether someone is just going through a regular grieving process or whether they're actually have a clinical depression. It is normal to feel sad, it's normal to grieve, and it's normal to feel overwhelmed after something has occurred. So if there's a move, your best friend has gone away, someone has passed away, you failed a test, you don't get good results from a medical test. These are all, even seasonal depression, all those things could be normal in terms of just kind of normal adjustments, but it's when it lasts longer than it should. Now the quote unquote should is very tricky because it really depends on age, culture, stage in life, so many different factors. So here's a few different things to look at when you're looking at whether or not you or a loved one has depression. And this includes kids, as well as teenagers, adults, and older individuals. So one is we look at, in the medical profession, we look at the acronym SIGECAPS, SIGECAPS. So it's a great way to remember it. So SIGECAPS includes S, which is sleep. So are you sleeping well? Are you sleeping more than normal or less? Are you having a lot of insomnia, sleeplessness, or are you sleeping too much and still feel not rested? I is interest. So have you lost interest in things you once used to enjoy or used to find enjoyable, or the things that you now do that used to be enjoyable, you no longer find enjoyment in it? G is guilt. Guilt are feelings of guilt or low self-esteem about something, where you're always feeling sorry for what you've done or feeling like you are overwhelmed by even just existing and you just feel like you're a burden to other people. E is energy. And this is where people might lose energy. They're always feeling lethargic and fatigued and that they don't feel engaged with life and they're always feeling very tired. C is concentration. And concentration is where you're feeling like you cannot focus and you cannot remember. Your memory is not what it used to be and you just feel absent-minded and you cannot focus in school or work, or you're always going off in your own little thought world. A is appetite. And with depression, just like sleep, you could either have too much of an appetite or no appetite. And that's where you're eating too much or too little, and you might even notice a significant gain or loss of weight. P is what they call psychomotor retardation. Huge word, but what it really means is that it's usually not something that you notice, but others notice when they look at you. So they're looking at you and you're moving slower than normal, you're speaking slower than normal. It's hard for you to get going in the morning or even doing your work. Everything is very, very slow. You're blinking slowly, you're talking slowly. Everything you do is just slow. And that's psychomotor, just kind of not moving. On the flip side though, you might be psychomotor restlessness, where you're just moving and you're jittery and you're just always like shaking, your legs are shaking and you're talking really, really fast. That's why, like I talked about in my video I posted the other day, is that it can look like ADHD because you're restless and you're all bouncing all over the place. The second S and the last one is suicidal thinking, and that's where people are thinking like, I'm just better off dead. I should just kill myself. I'm not worth living. But on the flip side, people might have more of a morbid ideation. And even though to many people that sounds worse, morbid ideation is where you're just thinking about just not being here. You're not really wanting to be physically dead, but you want your pain and your distress to end. So those are all things about depression that I think are really important to know. Your physician or pediatrician should be asking you or your child about that when you go in, especially if you're struggling with some grieving or sadness that's not going away after a period of time. And when it comes to it and you're meeting criteria for depression, it's really important to look at 3 things when they talk about it. It's called behavioral activation. That's making sure you do things that are fun and enjoyable, making sure you get out and do physical activities, and then make sure you have meaningful social interactions. So those are the key, and then going from there. Thanks. Thanks for watching.